From the banks of the Ohio River, there's a look at what's now known as Paycor Stadium here in Cincinnati. We are set to go. Evan McPherson to do the honors, and we are underway from Cincinnati. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. In motion comes the tight end left. First run of the game for Jahmyr Gibbs, the Alabama product. And he sidestepped one man, but reinforcements come to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
Goff now looks to throw. And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
Well, he left no doubt about that one, because even though he hasn't left the pocket, he's got a receiver in the area, so it's not grounding, even though there was no way that ball was going to be caught.
Crowd getting in it a bit already. Here's an early 3rd and 10. Goff. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Has a pretty good throw on the curl route there. 3rd down, and they pick up a first.
Defense should be aware for that, right?
They should be aware, but it was so hard sometimes.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Because when they sell that route really well, you think they're going upfield, then they curl back, show their numbers to the quarterback, and complete the play.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Now it's 2nd and 10. To throw is Goff. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on 3rd. And they'll bring the big tight end across the formation left. From the 50, it's Goff. That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. An effective 7-yard 3rd down conversion. We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice sustained series to begin the game, and it will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball, controlling the game, controlling the clock.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. 2nd and 10. To the air again, Goff. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Goff now looking to throw. Setting up the screen. This is Gibbs. And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one, as it's good from 56 yards out. And the Lions are going to take a 3-0 lead. No touchdown there, but if that first drive is any indication, looks like they're going to have a pretty good day passing the football.
I would say confidence would have to be pretty high after that first drive, able to throw it almost at will. You're exactly right. They didn't get the touchdown, but 3 points serves as a nice notice about how this offense is going to move.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. This pass complete to Higgins. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where...
Gets through and now an opening. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A big run there, 29 yards and a first. Thought they were going to have him down a lot earlier, but he was able to shed that tackle.
Shows the value of the weight room, doesn't it? Shows the value of the attitude when you run the football. Don't go down easily. Break a few tackles, gain some additional yardage.
Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. Open man downfield is Chase. He's got it. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Jamar Chase. 46 yards. And the Bengals have answered that early field goal to take a first quarter lead. Well, Charles, here in their opening series, they said they had certain plays scripted for certain players. That looked like a well-designed play to get one of their top targets involved.
Yeah, let's face it, Brandon. A player of his talent is a problem for any opponent to defend, and we saw it right there. They tried to deny an open lane to him. He still outplayed the coverage and scored the early touchdown. Good luck trying to figure out how to defend him as this game moves on.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 14 yards that time for number 14.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. It's a solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed, and he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. I always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
Down at the 35, it'll be second down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
From the 35, here's second down and 7. They'll fake the give. Now Goff. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
So third down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Here's Goff. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It'll be a loss of 6 yards on the play, and that's going to make it fourth down.
Well, that wasn't exactly a thing of beauty. I know they completed the pass, but look at the yardage lost. I mean, who does that make happy?
That's why I don't play in PPR points per reception fantasy leagues right there.
You'd be really
You don't deserve
upset,
anything
right?
for that.
But you get credit for it? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Well, I know whoever has this team's defense, they were happy about that play.
Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game planned for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other. And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here's second and 10. Now Burrow. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. That sack courtesy of Jack Campbell. Well, it was second long. Now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a third and long after that sack we just saw. They'll look to throw here. Throw left side complete to Chase. And he'll only get this to the 47. He needed a few more yards to pick up the first. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to fourth down.
There's another example what defensive coaches constantly preach, not allowing any run after the catch. They gave up a few more yards than they wanted to, but they were able to get him down quickly and force a fourth down.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And Detroit getting set to go now. And they were in field goal range the last time out, but couldn't connect.
And it's early in the game, so I don't think that the confidence just goes entirely out of, running your kicker back out there. But let's face it, some coaches have a little bit less patience for that than others. Let's see if they call the game differently now in terms of what they do on drives and not try and settle for field goals.
Goff now to throw. It's complete to Williams. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's second and 2. Gibbs straight ahead. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Gibbs will try and pick it up. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. That'll bring up fourth. They had the 8-yard gain on first down, but unable to do much from there.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away. Call it 46 yards on the punt, just a single yard on the return as he was covered quickly. And the Bengals will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their own 15. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Chase. Now he's free at the 35. He may go. Jamar Chase. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Jamar Chase with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Bengals are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Detroit's offense ready to take over. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
And they start things off with a carry by Gibbs here. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
This is 2nd and 8. Another run for Gibbs here. Yeah, he'll fight for a couple as the tackle is made at about the 32.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Now Goff. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Lions 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
After one, a 14-3 ball game. The Lions with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Straight ahead with Gibbs here, and he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd down and 8. On the give, here's Gibbs. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher, 3rd down and 9.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave him 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef, that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Here's Goff. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 45-yard line. A third down conversion with a strong gain of 14.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on third down, and they keep the drive going.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. Hand off now to Gibbs. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
In motion goes Patrick. Now it's Goff. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 22-yard line. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's right. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Brock Wright, a 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Lions have got it back to within a score.
Well, we know someone just added to his touchdown passing total, but all he did was get the ball out quickly to his tight end and let him take care of business the rest of the way.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes it a 14-10 ball game. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Cincinnati set to take over once again. Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
So pin that one on the rookie right tackle.
Remember those days when the right side was simply the run-blocking side? Now you're dealing with some of the better pass rushers in the league. It'll make you a little jittery.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. This is Brown going up the middle. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. Kirby Joseph there to drop him.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Now it's Burrow. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Flying in for that sack, Aiden Hutchinson. I thought there at the end he may have had a chance to release that, but that pocket closed a little too quickly, and down he went.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to do everything he could to extend the life of the play, probably counting in his head 1, 2, and then he ran out of time.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Being chased out left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th.
I thought he did a pretty good job there to get back what he could, but let's face it, that sack on 2nd down, talk about throwing a wrench into the works. It certainly did.
Yeah, he did everything he could there trying to pick up some positive yardage, and he did, but not enough. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And the fair catch is taken at about the 13-yard line here. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. He's got this to Williams, complete. And he will finally be escorted out of bounds down inside the 35. A big play there for Detroit. 54 yards.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Another catch for him there. This one good for 11, 1st down.
And maybe that touchdown on the previous drive has re-energized this offense a little bit. They've been kind of sluggish until then, but they're showing signs of life here, and they get good yardage that time and a 1st down.
In motion left goes a tight end. Play action. It's Goff. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. 12 more yards there and another 1st down.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
So 3 plays already 1st and goal, and they are wasting little time. They'll run with Gibbs. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line.
That's good power football on 1st and goal. A lot of teams will throw from there, but that's a nice job to chew up a few more yards and get yourself closer to the goal line.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Now Goff. Touchdown! Jahmyr Gibbs. A 5-yard touchdown. And the Lions have regained the lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Extra point right down the middle. And it's now 17-14. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And they're going to have terrific field position as they finally get to him, but just shy of the midfield stripe. Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. The last series for him, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 49. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Looked like both sides were anticipating a quick throw there, and the defense was ready to jump in and deny it, and they did.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. An inside give, Brown. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
They're passing here. Joe Burrow. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
Burrow looking to pass. That would almost intercepted, but it's incomplete. Not a good throw there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, hands, a little bit questionable.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. This one complete to Yoshibas. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 at a first down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Play action. It's Burrow. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now it's Burrow. And that's off the mark, incomplete. And this offense on 3rd down today, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. And Burrow going to throw again. Touchdown, Bengals! It's T. Higgins with a touchdown pass from Joe Burrow. And the Bengals have taken the lead. A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated it on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answer for that right there.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good, and that will make this a 4-point game. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And they got to be pleased with this. He brings it all the way up to the 40-yard line. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. The last time out, they had to march almost the full length of the field for their touchdown. So here, much easier, Charles, with this better starting field position.
I love your sarcasm, but I love even more your observation because, look, what they did last time out, now with a shorter field, they should have a lot of confidence that they're going to put more points up on the board.
Off play action. Here's Goff. Looking left side. He's got it. Complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good, and it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
From the 50, it's Goff. This will be incomplete. Oh, a dream chance for a D lineman, but he couldn't pull that one in.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. In motion, the tight end. Goff. He'll get this one to Patrick. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. That's on the tackle, Penei Sewell. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. To throw is Goff. Over the middle, it's complete. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
On 3rd down, here's Gibbs. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it.
Ball right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering. Get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Jack Fox out to punt here on 4th down. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And if they're going to take it in for another touchdown like they did on their last drive, they're going to have to do it the hard way, starting at the 1.
And boy, is that a difficult position. Obviously, where they are on the field, they have to be careful with the football. But at the same time, they can't be so careful that they can't run their offense as well. Everyone's got to lock in this situation. No mistakes.
Under pressure, and down he goes in the end zone, and that's a safety.
The goal was to score just before the break, but I'm not sure that a safety was how they expected to do it. But give the defenders credit. They saw how the series was starting out, and I think it increased their intensity. This was their chance to make a huge play before the half, and all they needed was one play to get it done.
So after that safety, now a free kick situation forthcoming as they punt it away from the 20. So they'll go ahead and accept the penalty. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Goff now looks to throw. And that's hauled in by St. Brown over the middle. It'll be a gain of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Wright's got it. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Goff. That's to the tight end, Laporta. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. It's a gain of 14 and a 1st down for Detroit.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver, although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
To the air again, Goff. He gets this out wide to Gibbs. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Now a 2nd and 2. Here's Goff. And his throw's going to be incomplete. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Goff now to throw. He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
But they certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. This just a 24-yard attempt. Bates' kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Both these offenses have been in fine form. What will the second half bring us as we are underway in quarter 3? And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Well, the Bengal offense ready to go to begin this third quarter. Well, Charles, in that first half, we saw a fair amount of offense on both sides of the football, and now the team trailing here will start with it in the third quarter.
And we both know this coach pretty darn well, don't we? Because his game planning is always on point. And now that he's getting the ball to start the second half, how about all the offense that you already referenced in the first half? He'll put that all together and come out with something really strong, I believe, to get things going here in the third quarter.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Call it a loss of 2 there on the play. And that brings up third and a full 10 yards.
And we constantly talk about people being on the same page. In this situation, the two of them saw the play with the same eyes. They understood where the open spaces were going to be, and they found a way to get there to pick up a new set of downs.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. That is caught, and he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A first down and then some. Give him 29 yards.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on third down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
Now Burrow. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Aiden Hutchinson picks up his second sack of the afternoon. And you get the feeling, Charles, yeah, he's got the 2 sacks now, but he may get more here. We still got a quarter and then some to go.
And the way that he is playing this game, it reminds me of one of the best golfers in the world who can use every club in the bag and make a great shot. That's what he's doing with his pass rush moves right now, showing a little bit of everything. They have no way of stopping him.
And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Only 3 yards on the pickup. They'll be left staring at a 3rd and 14.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
And Burrow going to slide to the ground as he does pick up the first down.
Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call.
It certainly appears that he's been able to get a read on how they've wanted to contain him in this game. He's seen some places where he can beat them in big spots, and right there, he slides in with ease for the first down.
Now it's Burrow. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that will bring up 2nd down.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch, I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Burrow will throw.
Open man is Yoshibas. And the Bengals are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Brown is in. Touchdown, Bengals.
That almost looked too easy, and I think thanks goes to the offensive line for making it look easy.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one. I'm not sure how much everyone understands the preparations that go into a game for an offensive line, because there's a reason that running backs and quarterbacks give them big gifts at the end of a season after a big year. The consistency and the continuity it takes to know each other.
And he's going to go down. Can't get rid of it. So a sack on the 2-point try.
Well, they tried to get 2 and ended up getting none because the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball and ends up getting sacked.
Nowhere to go at all. Great job, though, defensively. They were ready.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half.
Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10.
At their own 26. The tight end in motion right. Now Goff.
Throw over the middle. He finds Williams.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a 1st down.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
They'll send the tight end in motion left. Now it's Goff.
Finds Gibbs on the check down.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. It's a gain of 14 and a 1st down for Detroit.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another 1st down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Goff. Blitz coming, and down he goes. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Goff now looking to throw.
He's got right on the short throw.
And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is third down. Oh, and they sent the man in motion too late. This is going to be a delay.
Well, just a little too lackadaisical, Charles, and they didn't get up and snap the ball in time. Delay of game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he understood where the clock was located. In different stadiums, it's in different places. You have to check that in pregame and make sure you're aware so you don't run into penalties like these.
After the delay, they're backed up even further for third and long. Now Goff.
Setting up the screen. This is Gibbs.
So that'll be no better than an incompletion. And that's going to bring up a fourth down.
And I know that one didn't work out the way they thought, but I don't think it was a bad time to call this play. You're thinking on third down, you might possibly see some pressure. You might see a blitz. So they tried to set up the screen, but that one was well read, and they stopped them for no gain.
This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this one sails out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. They have played so strongly. You look at the scoreboard, you probably, with the way they played, you would think the margin would be a lot bigger, right?
You would. And in your experience, how many times have we run into coaches where they've talked about, hey, we just want to put it in the hands of our defense and have them win the game? In this case,
yeah, not the case.
Not at all. You want to put it in the hands of your offense, but you always feel better about seeing defense because you think defense is a constant and offense kind of comes and goes. Today, this game, no, they need their offense to stay on a really hot level.
They've been hot so far. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now it's Burrow.
Got a man open. It's Chase.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49.
4 yards the pickup, first down.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. They'll motion the tight end across the formation. Here's Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki.
And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down.
He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up third down.
And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is third down. Burrow looking to pass. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes.
Aiden Hutchinson getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return, and the Lions will take over. And Detroit getting set to go now. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10.
Back to throw, Goff. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Here's Goff.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one good for 24 yards.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Again, Goff.
Outright, this one goes to Patrick.
And he's brought down. 12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains.
And that play came together really well for them as he found open space, makes the catch, and gets down to the 1-yard line. You know he's kicking himself right now. He thought he had a chance to get a touchdown and put that in his ledger. Instead, his team gets a chance to cash in over these next few plays.
He's got it complete to Gibbs.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. The linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
That, I believe, will put him over 100 yards receiving for the game. Yes, it will, and he's got a 1st down to boot.
Throwing again is Goff.
That is caught by Laporta.
And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Lions trailing, but with possession of the football as we get set to bring you the 4th quarter. They'll send the big tight end in motion right.
Here's Gibbs.
He gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
want 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd one.
2nd and goal from inside the 5.
Gibbs again. And this time he'll lose yardage as the defense not giving him any room to operate.
Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up, the loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
Now Goff on 3rd and goal. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jared Goff with his 3rd touchdown pass of the afternoon.
And the Lions put together a 4th quarter drive to take the lead. Well, that's just how they drew it up, CD. His first read was there, got it to him quickly and into the end zone.
Absolutely excellent execution by all involved. And the coordinator, got to give him credit, found the perfect.
And he'll get into the end zone. So now a field goal would only tie as they've upped their lead to 3. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field.
And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the fourth quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one. Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10.
Just shy of the 30. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
Able to find Higgins.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Chase, the motion man right.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Got him in. It's Brown. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? Second and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
They're passing here. Joe Burrow.
Over the middle, that's caught by Chase.
And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's 2nd down and a yard.
To the air again, Burrow. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
A field goal from this spot likely out of the question. They've got to get closer here on 3rd down. Shotgun handoff to Brown here. And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47.
They had yet to run the ball at all on this drive, but 3rd and short, definitely was a great time to dial one up.
From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. And he's got his tight end. It's Mike Gesicki. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
On 1st and 10, here's Brown.
And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Now it's Burrow. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
That's an excellent play by the defender. He diagnosed that one, closed quickly, and helped force the incompletion.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This a 40-yard attempt from the left hash.
McPherson's kick is good.
And in the fourth quarter, this game is tied. I tell you, the life of a kicker. He has not been called on the entire game. He's over there by the net, but they send him out here in the fourth quarter and say, hey, go tie the game, will you? And guess what? He comes through.
I just don't know how they do it. I really don't. These cats are a different breed from you and me. That's a pressure kick, but that one was never in doubt.
Now this one setting up for a great finish. All tied in the fourth as the kick's away. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Detroit's offense ready to take over. And we essentially have a brand new ball game. After that last field goal has tied us all up, we brace for what should be an exciting rest of this fourth quarter. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10.
At their 25-yard line.
In motion goes Patrick.
Now Goff. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
And partner, in a tie game in the fourth quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars, and he came through with a nice catch right there.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
And off to Gibbs, headed right here.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Oh, that would have been a nice one to hit on in a tie game. You start to think that one big play, maybe the next big play, could turn out to be the game winner. They took the big shot, but it winds up incomplete.
Now it's gone. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes.
Trey Hendrickson showing off his pass rush repertoire that time. A 3rd and long, you knew that he was going to throw it. He just couldn't find anybody to throw it to.
Yeah, and it shouldn't have been a surprise, but that was perfect execution of their nickel defense. That 5th defensive back, the extra defender, he really tightened up things downfield in coverage, and they were able to get to him in the pocket.
Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return.
And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. Cincinnati set to take over once again. Excellent job by their defense to force the punt and provide them with this opportunity, all tied in the fourth quarter. Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10.
Just shy of the 30. They'll try and start this drive in the air.
This one complete to Yoshivas.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And Higgins is going to have a Bengals 1st down as he'll get this up to the 45-yard line.
7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
From the gun, a give to Brown. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. 65 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
I don't know what this says about me, but I love successful runs up the middle when the blocking is so well executed like that.
And it doesn't matter whether it's zone blocking, whether it's a power scheme. When you have a blocker on a defender and then the running back can read it, find the proper hole, and just go, it's sometimes a thing of beauty.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
2nd and 9. Right back to Brown.
And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Burrow will throw.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Not sure what happened there, but he just didn't get the right read on the coverage that time. Pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that'll send them back to the drawing board.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to break our 4th quarter tie. And this one is no good. He missed it. And a costly one there as this game remains tied here in the 4th. What a tough spot to miss a kick. Just an absolute letdown.
Look, they got themselves in the field goal range, gave them a chance to take the lead. They come up empty, and now you wonder, will their offense ever see the football again?
Yeah, because on the other side, one through the post, and this thing could be over. To throw is Goff.
He's got right on the short throw. Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Goff now looking to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. A field goal from this spot likely out of the question. They've got to get closer here on 3rd down.
From the gun, Gibbs will get it.
So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the first before he's brought down. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd. Hasn't been his best afternoon on the ground, far from it, but a critical 3rd down conversion.
His afternoon just got better. All right, you're exactly right. It hasn't been his best in terms of yardage, but that run there, that's the one your teammates look to you and go, okay, that's what we want from you. That's what we need. Now they have a chance to keep moving forward and a chance to win the game.
That's to the tight end, Laporta.
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. 4 touchdown passes now for Jared Goff.
And the Lions have broken our tie and have taken a 4th quarter lead.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And they will take a 7-point lead now. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So Burrow and the Bengals
Down by 7, a minute 56 to go. They've surrendered a double-digit lead but can rescue themselves late as they come up on 1st down.
Burrow. Open man is Yoshivas.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. And now all the focus, it shifts to the Bengals. Trailing by a touchdown. A minute 51 on the clock. They need a touchdown to the PAT to tie it as they come up 1st and 10.
They come up now On 2nd and 2. Here's Burrow.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
They'll come up now on 2nd down. Now Burrow. That's complete to Chase.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down.
Yes, down by a touchdown. They needed a big play here quickly, and they got one. And now, plenty of time. No need to panic, but you do need to move quickly.
Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. 1st and 10 here. Burrow. There he goes again.
And down to the 16-yard line. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the 1st down.
To throw, Burrow.
It's complete to Brown, right side. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
Now 2nd and 4. Throwing, Burrow.
This will be caught at about the 5.
And the Bengals are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2.
Here's 1st and goal.
Throwing now is Joe Burrow. And yes, he's into the end zone. So they get the late score they needed. And now the extra point can tie this thing up in the final minute.
And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down 1. That extra point is not a gimme.
McPherson now for the extra point.
And we are tied here in the 4th quarter.
This one, all we could have asked for. All tied, final minute as the kick's away here. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Lions offense set to take over. And Charles, obviously not much time left. I'm curious to see if there's enough for them to get into field goal range and try to win this thing.
And partner, you and I both know the safe calls to kneel and just take it into overtime. But it's also very tough to pass up a chance to win it right now as well. But remember, if you do attempt that, it's got to be a big play downfield and still leave yourself enough time to get your field goal unit out there and kick for the win. Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Now Goff. He's airing it out for Williams.
And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in. So the Lions now, they'll get the first crack at things here in overtime as we are back underway. And he returns this to the 22. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Now Goff. Finding his big receiver Patrick over the middle. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Gibbs straight ahead. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
Here's Goff.
He's got it complete to Gibbs.
So just 3 yards on the completion there, and that'll make it 2nd down. A little dinking and dunking that they're doing. At some point, is it appropriate to maybe take a shot?
It is if you feel good about it. But otherwise, you do what a coach told me a long time ago. Take what they give you, but make them tackle. In other words, get it to one of your guys in space. If he makes someone miss, that could turn into the big play you're looking for.
He gets this out wide to Gibbs.
And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 43. Great way to convert on 3rd down there. 21 yards the play.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Sometimes you get all those big guys down there in one spot, and there's just nowhere to go. And in this case, the defensive tackle used his strength and swallowed him up.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Here's Goff. And his throw here's incomplete.
I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Goff now looks to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. Well done by the defense. They did their job here in overtime.
Boy, did they ever, because now it's 4th and really long. So if you do decide to go for it, people think you might be a little bit on the nut side, don't they? But guess what? If I did decide to go for it, I'd call something deep. I'd throw a deep pass and hope that the defense didn't remember to just knock it down. If they intercept it, it's almost like a great punt and helps out your defense with field position.
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here.
Well, their defense, they did the important thing. They got the stop. They didn't allow a point, but now they're backed up here pretty far, Charles. Going to need a significant drive to try to get into position for the game-winning field goal.
Yeah, partner, don't you think that defense is on the sidelines right now saying, don't come to us with your problems about where you're starting? We did the important part. We kept them off the board, kept us in the ball game. Find a way to maneuver it downfield, at least get into field goal range, and get us a win.
And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A well-executed 22-yard gain. Backed up deep in their own territory, they were in search of a cushion, and the cushion was found.
And you have to think total game, even in overtime. As a head coach, field position still counts in this spot. So they had to get out from the shadow of their own goal line, get themselves some breathing room. Obviously, that helps them on offense, but it may help their defense, too. Might be necessary here in OT.
75 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
The defense did its part. 3 points now. All they need as they work on second down.
Burrow looking to pass. Open man is Higgins.
And Higgins is going to have a Bengals first down as he'll get this across the 50 to the 49.
It's a 9-yard gain, and it'll keep the drive moving. He's padding his already great numbers here in overtime. More importantly, though, moving his guys downfield.
And I think that's exactly what's going through his head right now. Moving them downfield, putting them in a position to win the game. The stats, that's for the fantasy guys. I know they're enjoying that show.
Over the middle, he's got Gesicki, the big 6'5" tight end. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
Partner, this is a pretty good drive they're putting together. And I know if I'm on the other sideline, that offense, kind of helpless, isn't it? Because they may not touch the football at all, because if they go down and score a touchdown, this thing's over.
Absolutely. That would write an ending to this script. We'll see what happens. From midfield now, Burrow.
He's going to have the hook up here to Chase.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first. Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're in OT, you've got to go to the guys you can trust and you know are going to make the plays. Well, they say it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
With that last completion, CDs now over 400 yards passing in the game, and quite a few of those have come via some pretty big strikes downfield. Certainly not afraid to challenge this secondary, and it's been successful.
I like your observation there, partner, because I agree. This is a group more than capable of torching a secondary any week, as evidenced by their combined stat line here. And in the time we have remaining, wouldn't shock me at all to see them take another deep shot.
The LSU connection, Burrow to Chase for the Cincinnati first.
They go back to that well. He's had a great game. Defensively, they haven't been able to stop him. Same thing here in overtime.
And sometimes that goes to the play caller's ego, because a lot of times you have so many different plays you want to call, but when you spot a matchup that's working for you or a player that has the hot hand, keep giving it to them. That tells me you're mature as a play caller, and it's working for them in overtime.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
They are in field goal range. 3 points now would win it. Here's 2nd down.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it.
Gesicki hauling in the quick throw.
They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. Well, right now, every little bit of yardage helps. So they're obviously well within his range. It's just about keeping the football and getting in the right spot.
Know your kicker. Get, as you mentioned, get it to the right spot, the place that he wants to kick it from. And if you do decide to throw the football, it either goes to your team or no one. It's the only kind of throw you make.
This pass complete to Higgins.
And the Bengals are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Boy, this is a well-orchestrated drive they've put together. You think back to how far they were backed up to start things out, but they've gone on a march since then, and now after that completion there, they've got a 1st and goal.
They'll give this up the middle to Brown. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
They blitzed there, but to be honest, I don't know if it would have mattered had they blitzed or not. That run play was going nowhere.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult at times to figure out where that defense is coming from. But if you're committed to running the football, you can get people up on those linebackers, right? Those guards don't have to block anyone at the line of scrimmage. They can get up to the second level and create some space.
They get only a yard there. Now it's 3rd and goal. All right, well, they didn't kick it on second down. Now 3rd and goal. You have to kick it here.
Absolutely have to kick it, because if you get a bad snap, you fall on it, you got a chance to kick it again on 4th down. Let's say it gets blocked and it's behind the line of scrimmage. You fall on it. You get another chance at it. Give yourself that option. Give yourself that opening.
That pass play good for 7, but it still brings up a 4th and goal.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Now stopped him in his tracks. They'll try and run for it with Brown. And this is going to be nowhere close. Needed some inches and ended up losing yardage. They're turned away on 4th and goal. And the Lion defense able to come up there with a goal line stand.
Drive starts with a run from Gibbs.
And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively. Because I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
Back to the ground, this time Montgomery.
But that won't do much good as he is tackled at his own 7.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive.
Here's 3rd and 7.
Goff now looking to throw. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. And that'll bring up 4th down on a big sack with a loss of 5.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
Jones on the return. A 48-yard punt, 7 on the return. And the Bengals will take over in terrific field position. Cincinnati now ready to take the field.
They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
Once that ball was popped in the air, you could almost hear the silence, the collective breath being held here in the stadium.
Let's be honest about it. We both came out of our chairs, didn't we? All right, anytime you see the ball in the air like that, there is that collective.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Now a timeout called for by the offense. They'll be left with just 1 remaining here at OT.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw.
Now back to throw. Dancing to it. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
Lee McNeil, what an effort to get in there and drop him.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. One overtime. How about two? We need another. We're still even. We'll switch sides and have that second overtime in just a moment. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out. I can assure you, setting up a screen is much more difficult than it appears. It requires excellent timing from everyone on the offense, and a defense's #1 goal is to throw that timing off.
To throw is Goff.
Setting up the screen, this is Gibbs.
And he'll get nothing out of that one. Good contain, no gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here.
The defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. And they'll begin here with a run by Brown.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
How about the job there on the outside? Shed the wide receiver and was able to make the tackle on the perimeter.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Here's Burrow. His throw incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Burrow. And this will be broken up and incomplete. Now a penalty flag down, and they may be going backward here.
So they decline the hold, and that's going to lead to a 4th down.
The Bengals bring out their punter now. And in double overtime, this needs to be a good one. A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
And Detroit getting set to go now. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
Counter play, here's Gibbs. And he'll get this to about the 34, a gain of just 3.
Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Gibbs will try and pick it up.
And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35.
So that time they get the tight end on the hold.
Normally he's a pretty good run blocker, but this time he just didn't get his arms extended and let go quickly enough. The flag came out as a result.
A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on third down. Goff.
Throw out wide is incomplete.
And this defense definitely in his head there on third down, and he's pretty fortunate. They didn't call for grounding on this one. That was a good 10 feet over everyone's head.
Here comes the Lions punter now. On for a very important punt here in overtime. A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over.
The Bengals set to take over. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10.
At about the 32. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Here's Higgins out on the right side. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
Charles, he's now over 400 yards passing in this one. It feels like he has a zillion completions. Just a very memorable effort from a guy that we thought could be in line for a big game, and he has exceeded our expectations.
That he has, and I'm not really surprised at all because when you look at this offensive unit, they are loaded across the board. And, of course, the guy throwing them, he's a big-time player himself. They brought it from start to finish and really helped get the better of the opposing secondary.
Back-to-back completions, and that puts them in enemy territory.
And we're always looking for that elusive term, momentum, aren't we? And I think they're building it with the back-to-back completions. Now they feel like they can either take a shot or continue to build it the way that they're doing now. Safe throws, get it to their playmakers, and see what happens.
And Higgins is going to have a Bengals first down as he's inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. And now a tip of the cap to the man under center, Charles. He just went over 400 yards passing in this ball game. He's got the touchdown passes to boot, taking pretty good care of the ball. Just all around a really solid performance.
Yeah, just check, 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 and check, right? Because he certainly showed he was worthy of the trust that his team put in him. A handful of touchdowns to his credit thus far. Now he's just crossing off yardage milestones, and win or lose, his name has to be in serious discussion for player of the game.
Here's 2nd and 7.
They keep it on the ground. Again, it's Brown.
And a pretty good run as he'll get this down close to a first at the Lions' 28. 73 yards rushing for him now as he is just trying to will his guys to an overtime victory.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settling, because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
And we're going to get another timeout called by the Lions. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime.
So all eyes now locked on Evan McPherson.
This to win it in overtime. And he got it. The kick is good. And they have won it here in double overtime.
Charles, normally when you see a group score this many points, it's a complete blowout. But instead, they needed every single one of those in this close, high-scoring affair.
And, Brandon, I'm still on the edge of my seat after that one because when you have that much scoring and it still comes down to a one-possession game at the end, that's not something we see very often. In this case, these offenses, they brought it. The defenses, they're going to need some work going forward.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. It's a win for the Bengals as we say so long from Cincinnati.